What's up, guys? When I first started in private practice, I had never even heard of a Superbill or out-of-network billing, but it turns out that Superbills are incredibly useful in private practice, and they're also super simple to use. In this video, I tell you everything you need to know about Superbills so you're all set up for out-of-network billing. Welcome to Private Practice Skills. I'm Dr. Marie Fang, psychologist in private practice. I post videos offering tools I learned the hard way about starting and growing private practice so that you don't have to. So what is a Superbill? A Superbill is a detailed, itemized receipt used by healthcare providers like us to reflect the services that we offer. Most often, Superbills are used for reimbursement to some type of third-party payer, like insurance. Now, if you're familiar with billing insurance, then you might be wondering what's the difference between a Superbill and a CMS 1500 form? Good question, but before we get into it, let me explain what a CMS 1500 form is for those of you who are not familiar. The CMS 1500 is a form used by healthcare providers to bill directly to insurance for reimbursement. For the most part, the CMS 1500 form only applies to providers who are in-network on insurance panels. To really understand what I'm saying, I think I really need to break down the difference between in-network providers and out-of-network providers. In-network providers have negotiated a contracted rate with insurance companies for the services that they provide. So for example, if let's say you're in network with a Blue Cross Blue Shield, Blue Cross will predetermine what rate they pay you at. Usually they decide what market rate is, which is usually a little bit below actual market rate, and then they pay you a fraction of that amount for reimbursement. This is a pre-negotiated price that they pay you for your services when you see an in-network member. In contrast, out-of-network providers do not enter a contract with insurance companies. But some insurance policies will offer an option for their members to see a provider who's out of network, and then they'll reimburse some portion of that rate to their member. So here's how the billing process differs between whether you're an in-network provider or an out-of-network provider. When you're in-network on an insurance panel, you complete the CMS 1500 form, submit it directly to insurance, and then they must approve that claim before they go ahead and send you payment for the services you offered to their member. When you're an out-of-network provider, your client pays you directly out of pocket for your services, and then from there, it's up to them to negotiate with their insurance policy whether they receive any reimbursement for that service. This is where the Superbill comes front and center. Personally, I'm not currently in network with any insurance providers. If you're curious about my experience being in network with insurance, I'll link to a video up here or in the description box, and you can hear all about my experience. So basically, when you're providing out-of-network services, the Superbill is your client's ticket for receiving some reimbursement for that service. Of course, to avoid any potential insurance fraud, insurance companies do require a fair amount of information on this Superbill just to make sure that you are who you say you are and that you are providing the services to this client. Here are the key items that we're required to include on the Superbill receipt. Your basic information as the provider, such as your name, address, and phone number, your professional information such as your tax ID number, NPI number, and license number. You need to provide some identifying information about your client such as their name, ICD-10 diagnosis code, and their birth date. And finally, of course, an itemized list of services that your client has paid you for, including date of service, CPT code, description of service, and how much you charged for that service. In addition to these requirements, I found it helpful to include a couple of additional items, such as the place of service code, as well as a clear statement at the bottom signifying that the client has already paid me in full for these services, and this is not a bill. And lastly, I do like to sign and date the Superbill just for good measure to make clear that it's me writing this Superbill. And that's all there is to it. Once you get into the swing of things with Superbills, it really only takes like a minute and a half to complete per client, and I usually fill them out once every several sessions. So this is a really low cost on our part in order to offer a great benefit to our clients. Once you've handed the Superbill to your client, it's up to them to coordinate with their insurance provider for any reimbursements they might qualify for. So that means once you've handed the Superbill to your client, you're all done. That's it. It takes like 90 seconds and it's really easy. I found over time that often clients may not be aware that they qualify for these out-of-network benefits with their insurance policy, so I've made it part of my initial phone screen practice to let clients know that it is an option to bill out of network. And many times clients have been surprised to follow up with their insurance and realize that some or most of their therapy is covered by out-of-network coverage. It's really wonderful. So as you can see, Superbills are a great way to make therapy more accessible and affordable to your potential clients while you're still insured to receive your full fee. It is absolutely worth considering adding Superbills as a potential resource to your clients to help your practice and offer that service to the community. There's no official formatting for what your Superbill receipt needs to look like, and everyone kind of has their own style for how they format theirs. If you'd like to reference my Superbill receipt as a template, you're more than welcome to find the link in the description box to snag it for free and make it your own. Well, I hope you found this video about Superbills helpful, and until next time, from one therapist to another, I wish you well. Okay, thanks, Annika. But if you change your mind, you can just interrupt at any point.